Two compact classics from 1996, but is there any difference between the quality of the images that these two cameras produce? In this film camera battle, I have two super portable point and shoot cameras up against each other. In one corner, I have the Ricoh GR1. This is the first in the line of Ricoh's famed slimline street shooters. And in the other is the Minolta TC-1, the jewel in the crown of Minolta's point and shoots. These two cameras were released within months of each other in late 1996 and have remained firm favourites among film shooters all over the world. Both cameras have a 28mm field of view and both have the ability for you to select an aperture, truly placing them in the upper echelons of fancy point and shoots. I loaded up each one with a roll of Kodak Portra 160 and shot images around Brisbane. So in this video, I'll show you two sets of photos, one taken on the Ricoh GR1 and the other taken on the Minolta TC-1. Both cameras are quite different and I'll talk about some of those differences throughout the video. Now, before we start looking at the pictures, let's have a look at the digital contact sheets that my lab gave me for each of these rolls. The first one here is the GR1 contact sheet. Exposures look fantastic. Everything is looking great there. Colors are nice. Let's have a look at the Minolta TC-1 contact sheet. Everything is looking fantastic there. The images and the colors look great. Everything is nicely exposed. Let's start looking at the images. So to start off the roll, I took the ferry across from Victoria Point to beautiful Cuchimudlo Island. So I picked up both of these cameras off eBay here in Australia. I got my Minolta TC-1 about 3 years ago, picked it up for around $600 US, which was a real bargain. And the only issues with it were that the battery door keeps falling open, so I've had to use a bit of clear sellotape to tape that up permanently. The only time I ever open it, of course, is when I need to change battery. And the only issue now is that 3 years in of my ownership, the leatherette there is sort of coming off the front, which is a little bit sad, but such is life. The Ricoh GR1 I've just picked up, just run 2 rolls through it and everything is looking fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to comparing these two cameras. Of course, I have owned 2 Ricoh R1 cameras and I've already done a video here on my channel about the Ricoh R1. Absolutely love the camera. I've had 2 die on me now though, so I decided I'm never buying a Ricoh R1 again. I'm hoping I have a bit more luck with the GR1. Got this off eBay a little while ago for about $360 US, so that is a real bargain. They don't generally go for as much as the Minolta TC-1, and I think it is because of that reliability factor. People are just a little bit scared to buy them. Now with both of these cameras, you can actually choose which aperture you want to shoot with, which is fantastic. I absolutely love that in a point and shoot. The Minolta TC-1 is an aperture priority camera. You have to choose an aperture from the front dial of the camera. The Ricoh GR1 is a little bit different in that you can shoot in program if you like, but to sort of even things up with the cameras, whatever aperture I'm shooting with the Minolta TC-1, I'm also shooting on the Ricoh GR1. Oh my goodness, I just looked down and thought that was a snake. Luckily for me, that was not a snake. It did scare me, maybe jump a little bit. But there's no drop birds around here. So shooting with both of these cameras is a bit of a different experience. Both of the viewfinder windows are tiny. Minolta TC-1 is famed for its tiny viewfinder window. The GR1 is not much better. When you're looking through the viewfinders and you're composing, you kind of get different information through that viewfinder. So for example, the Minolta TC-1, what you see through the viewfinder is an approximation of your image, whereas with the GR1, there's actually like frame lines through the viewfinder, and that is what your sort of approximation is for the final image. And you can actually see a little bit of extra information, a little bit extra of the scene. The other weird thing with the GR1 is you can actually see the lens through the viewfinder at the bottom, which is kind of weird, but you get used to it after a while. Now with the focus for both, the TC1 almost has like this rangefinder thing at the bottom, and when you half press, it tells you the distance where it's going to focus. So you have that sort of feedback telling you where it's going to focus. Whereas with the GR1S, there's 4 symbols. There's a flower for macro, there's a single person, there's 2 people, and there's a mountain for infinity. So yeah, different sort of systems of telling you where it's going to focus. Both are pretty good. I don't get many missed shots with either camera, but it can happen. The next set of images are of my family on a couple of nights out. And for the final part of the video, check out these photos taken at Wynnum in Bayside, Brisbane. So there you go. What did you think of the 2 sets of photos taken on Portra 160 with the Minolta TC-1 and the Ricoh GR1? Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I could not tell many of these images apart. When I looked at the 2 folders, I could not work out which camera was which. It was only then that I remembered that I took 2 photos with the GR1 at a Chinese restaurant because I wasn't sure about the focus. And that is literally the only reason that I know which roll is which. There are some sort of subtle differences in some of the images. So let's take a look through some of them now. So many of the images facing the sea there at Cuchimudlo Island and also at Wynnum, I mean, these look very, very similar. So I couldn't really tell the difference between them. The same with the image of the flower and the image of that debris along the beach there, couldn't tell the difference. In this one here with the canoe hanging up though, yeah, I could tell a difference there because the shadows were just a little bit darker for the TC1 photo. And again, with this image here, the shadows here for the TC1 are markedly darker than for the GR1. Some images on the TC1 were a little bit darker in the shadows. Perhaps that's because different metering between the TC1 and the GR1. I'm not sure, but yeah, I did notice that. Perhaps next time I shoot a roll with the TC1, maybe I'll bump it up half a stop exposure compensation. Now there's some interesting differences in the portraits I took here of my wife and daughter. They were going to a little concert here. I had to park on the side of the road. I didn't have much time. So I jumped out of the car. With the TC1, of course, you have to choose an aperture. So I chose f3.5, turned the flash on. Now there are different flash modes with the TC1. There's a night fill portrait mode and stuff like that. I just used the regular flash though. I took the image, bang, look at this. This looks fantastic. Everything looks great. It's a really nice portrait here. Now with the GR1, I think I forgot to choose an aperture. I just put it on program because it was raining and they wanted to get inside to the concert. I had to sort of be quick. So I kind of forgot to choose f3.5 aperture on the GR1. I left it in program. I took 2 photos, one because my wife had her glasses on. I said, "I'll take your glasses off, I'll take another, just in case we get a reflection there of her glasses." I took the second shot. And what I didn't know at the time was that the GR1 will go down in program mode with the flash on. It'll go down to 1/30th of a second at the very slowest shutter speed. And I think that's exactly what it's done here. It's gone down low to about 1/30th of a second. And you can, although my wife and my daughter are nicely illuminated here because of the flash there, look at the background there, look at those lights above them. There are some light trails, which is really interesting from that slow shutter speed. So there you go, there is a difference between the 2 cameras when you use the flash. Probably could have got the same sort of effect if I'd used the night portrait mode on the TC-1. So there you go, I hope you enjoyed that battle between the Minolta TC-1 and the Ricoh GR1. Let me know your thoughts, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Also let me know if you want to see future point and shoot battles here on Matt Loves Cameras YouTube. One that I'm thinking about doing is between the Contax T3 and the Fujifilm Class S. So if you'd like to see that, drop a comment. And of course, check out the only other camera battle that I've done here on the channel, which was between the Pentax SBO Mini and the Canon SureShot Sleek. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.